Hi, good morning. I'm Pam Fox. Thanks for being here. This morning I want to talk about decluttering as we are doing the 30-day declutter challenge on my Up Your Game Facebook page, and I'll put the link to that page below if you haven't come over to check it out yet. So this month we're doing a decluttering challenge, and I thought I would just really quickly talk for a minute about decluttering and why it's important to declutter, because I think this is one of those things it's really not for everybody. Some people they'll come across a challenge like this and they'll think, no, that's not for me. Maybe because they really have an attachment to their stuff, or maybe because they have so much stuff, the idea of decluttering is just, they feel like they're beyond that. And so they don't want to go there. It's just too much work. It's too overwhelming. And some people just feel comforted by having a lot of clutter and chaos around them. I think I find that hard to believe, but I know that some people say that there's comfort in that. So it's not for everybody. But I did take some notes on why I think it's important to declutter and why we're doing this challenge. And the reason I think it's important to stop and think about these things is because if you don't really make the mind connection as to why you're decluttering, you're going to declutter your space and then you're going to be right back to the mess, before long. So you have to kind of have that connection, make the connection as to why you're decluttering, to really kind of put yourself in more of a minimalistic mindset. Not that you have to go, full throttle and become a total minimalist and get rid of everything. Obviously, you can see I haven't done that, although there is a desire within me to go more towards that. And I have been doing that for several years, really for the last 10 years or so. I've been moving toward a more minimalistic lifestyle, but it's been a slow process for me. So, and I am reading The Art of Tidying. And in that book, she says the slow process is the wrong way to go. I mean, she teaches getting in there, decluttering, your whole home in a day, being fierce about just getting rid of everything. So she's, if you want to go that route, that's a good book to check out. Personally, that's not the way I'm going to do it, but there's probably some good tips in there for people. It's a New York Times bestseller. So anyway, so why declutter? So the first and most obvious thing is the stress of having messes around your home. Your home environment ideally should be a peaceful place. We want to come into our home at the end of a stressful day, or maybe you're full-time in your home, maybe you're a full-time mom, and you live in that environment. You want it to be a peaceful, happy, bright, cheerful, ordered environment in order to be calm, yourself. And so that's really the number one thing, I think, is just to be able to live in an environment that promotes that peace. And also the clutter, maybe you have piles of clothes everywhere, piles of dishes everywhere, nothing really has a place. Those piles really compete for your attention. And one thing that I was thinking about this morning is when I was a student, like in high school and in college, and it was time to buckle down and study for a test, I would always find myself kind of organizing before I would study as a distraction. Again, these things compete for your attention. So that's the number one reason. Also, saving time. So I read that the average American spends a year of their life looking for lost items in their home. And so if you think about it, where's my coat? Where's my keys? Where's my purse? Where's my shoe? If you spend a lot of time looking for those things, it makes you late. It makes you, again, stressed out. So if your home has order and everything's in a place and you can find things and you can just go directly to them instead of looking for them, it's going to save you time. And time is money, right? But your air quality. So I don't know if you saw, if you're belong to my Facebook group, Up Your Game, I posted a picture of this window back here that I was really cluttered and hadn't been cleaned for probably over a year. And when I took down the bottles to wash them, there was mold growing, in the cracks of the window. So you don't want mold growing in your house. And if you've got clutter, then you're decreasing the airflow in your home, and you are going to have mold. Obviously, if you've got clutter, you're probably not in a good habit of dusting, which I never have been. And so you've got dust growing in your home, building up in your home. So if you are moving towards a mindset of more a minimalistic, clean, organized, you're gonna increase the air quality in your home. So that's a good thing too. Your social life. I know I make the excuse, I live in a small house. It's always kind of been, not the most organized or neat or clean home. And so I use that excuse a lot. Well, I really don't want to have company. I don't want to host, family events. I don't want to have parties. It's stressful when someone pops in because my house is never really that clean. If someone pops in on a day, I just happen to do a power clean, that's one thing. But, so yeah, just improving your social life. And I know not everybody really wants to have an active social life. I'm more of a reclusive hermit type personality myself. And so I don't go out looking for that. But for those of you that maybe that's a desire to have more functions in your home, or maybe you've got your family, maybe you want your husband to feel more comfortable inviting friends over, or your kids, you want your kids to feel comfortable, having friends over. If your home is a more organized, clean environment, you're just going to be happier to do those things. Parking your car in your garage. I was thinking about this, and I don't have a garage, but every single person in my family that has a garage does not park their car in their garage. Why? Because it's full of stuff. It's full of stuff, the overflow, they just throw it in the garage. Saving money. Well, we all want to save money, obviously. So when you start to begin to have more of a minimalistic mindset, a decluttered home, a more organized home, you're going to do less, impulsive shopping. When you need something, you're going to go out and you're going to go into the store and you're going to get that one thing that you need. And you're going to save money because you're not going to be in that mindset that, I'm making money now, I'm going to spend money now, and I'm going to acquire, a lot of cool stuff, which is the trap that a lot of us fall into, when we get out on our own. When we're kids, all our stuff is just stuff that people give to us, right? Because we don't have a job and we're not making money. But when we start making money, we want to spend that money and we want to accumulate things. And that's something to explore as well. When did you begin to give so much meaning to your possessions? That's something to really kind of take some time and think about. And maybe I'll do a whole video on that on my next video during this 30 days of decluttering. But so saving money. And I know that when my kids were little, they had a lot of toys. That's a really easy way to spend a lot of money. And I know a lot of people give them toys as well. And those things can pile up. So you can be active in decluttering your kids' lives as well. And you may even find some money. I was thinking about my daughter when she was probably, I don't know, maybe in the 6th grade. Her room had just gotten out of control. And so, I was really bugging her to clean her room. And finally I just took the day off and we just spent the whole day cleaning her room. And it took the whole day. And honestly, I did most of the work because she would get so distracted. She would start on one little project and she'd end up, going through a book or old toy or something like that. And we got ferocious and we just took all the clothes and put them in a pile. But we found so much money in her room. We found, birthday cards that still had money in them, which that's my fault. I should have been more proactive about collecting that money and putting it in the bank. My sister-in-law, she does this great thing. When her kids get money or, for Christmas or for their birthdays, she collects it and she opened up an account for them, like a college account or a savings account or something like that when they were born. And she puts all that money right into that account every single birthday, every single Christmas. And I don't know how much money those kids have in those accounts, but it's got to be a lot because she doesn't let them spend it. And then gift cards. I'm not sure what she probably lets the kids use their gift cards. But my daughter we probably found almost 10 gift cards in her room. Some of them were expired when we cleaned her room. So you may find money when you're doing your decluttering. So watch out for that as well. I think that's it. Oh, well, yeah. Your family life. Just, think about this too. Like, how many times do you find you and your husband arguing over, it could be anything, but you're surrounded by, dirty dishes or dirty laundry or piles. That can have an impact on that relationship, just being surrounded by that chaos. Or how many times have you gotten into with your kids because you're late, you need to be somewhere and they can't find their books or their backpack or their coat because you live in a house of disorder and chaos. So if you can create a more organized home, where you've got systems in place and you know, everybody puts everything in their place and everybody has a job to do. You know, give your kids little jobs to do. My kids used to have the job of cleaning the toilet, taking out the trash, and doing the dusting and a couple of other things. And when they were little, it was great. They were great at helping out. Now, when they got a little bit older, it wasn't so great because, you know, they got older and they had their own things to do. They had their own lives, you know, and they were on the go all the time. So I let a lot of that stuff kind of slide. But yeah, if you have a household of many people, you know, everybody should be doing their job and pitching in. So you need to kind of delegate and establish, you know, who does what and where things go. All right, so that's it. For those of you who are have joined in on my 30-day declutter challenge, I just want to encourage you to keep up the momentum. I know it's really easy to get excited about these things in the beginning. It's like, yeah, and I'm going to do a project, and then you do a project and you feel great about it, and then you're done. So let's keep the momentum. Continue to look around your house. I think a great way to do this is to, and I mentioned this on the pages, is to take your camera and go around your house and take a picture of everything that you feel needs to be organized, whether it's a cabinet or a drawer or a closet or your, you know, maybe your wardrobe. Maybe you've got a kitchen table that's just got, you know, 6 months worth of stuff piled up on it. Maybe you've got a file cabinet where you just throw the papers, and you never file them. That was the first thing I did back in November when I kind of started. I know I started this challenge in January, but I started it for myself back in November. And that was the first thing I did, was I went through a pile this tall of paperwork that went back to 2014, where I just been things that needed to be filed, threw it in the pile, threw it in the pile, threw it in the pile. So that felt great. So I'm sure there are things, you know, maybe your house is really clean and you're already very organized, but this is an ongoing thing. So, you know, there's probably something you can organize, even if that's you. But for the most of us, we probably have several projects around our house. This summer, I'm going to tackle our shed when the weather improves. It's a mess out there. You can barely get the door open. So, all right. So happy decluttering to you, and thanks for watching.